Welcome back. Let's check crypto this morning. As you see, a mixed showing with Bitcoin and XRP lower, Ethereum higher right now. President Trump vowing to make America the crypto capital of the world, following through with investments and progress on infrastructure. Crypto earnings this week that we are watching. We are waiting on Circle's report tomorrow. That should be an important one. CoreWeave stock was down yesterday, down 8.25% after it lowered its 4-year guidance, even after posting a double beat for the third quarter. Gemini posted mixed earnings, and that stock down 7% so far this week. Joining me now is Bloccelerate Venture Capital CEO and founder, Kate Laurence. Kate, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me, Maria.
Thanks for being here. Your company is a venture capital firm investing in blockchain and in Web3 companies. Tell us where the growth is right now in digital assets.
The growth right now in digital assets is mostly around the stable coins, Maria. We have seen the passage of the Genius Act this year, which was a huge turbocharge for this industry, but specifically for the stable coins. Last Friday, I hosted a summit at the Harvard Club of New York City, and we had Federal Reserve Governor Myron join us to talk about the importance of stable coins. And his forecast was that we're going to see $2 trillion of stable coins in circulation by 2030. And that's not just good for blockchain, that's good for the US dollar, because ultimately stable coins are propelling the distribution of one of the most desired assets in this world, which is the US dollar.
It's probably good for treasuries as well, by the way.
Good for treasuries. Yeah. It's good for the US economy, for the Fed, so it's good for everyone.
Now, you just mentioned your 4th annual Bloccelerate VC Summit last Friday. You brought together industry leaders in digital assets, AI, and you spoke with the governor, Stephen Myron. Let me get your take on that, because as a venture capitalist, you see stablecoin passing, you see more clarity around the regulatory backdrop. What does that mean for you as a VC?
What it means for me is that we have builders, we have founders, we have innovators building in this country, Maria. And that's very important, because I started the summit 4 years ago, and that was the week of the FTX collapse. And what followed was 3 years of despair, 3 years of regulatory enforcement, that was uncertainty, and we came out on the other side. And 2025 is really the new chapter. We're seeing a lot more capital open up. We're seeing more IPOs this year than in the last 12 years in crypto and blockchain, and that means more capital to be invested in new companies.
And tell me about the venture capital backdrop here. What kind of companies are you seeing and are you getting attracted to in the digital asset space?
We're seeing different categories of companies in the digital asset space. On the one hand, we're seeing a lot of infrastructure players. There's still a lot of institutional grade infrastructure that we need to build out. There's custody providers, compliance tools, trading infrastructure. On the flip side, we've had a lot of investment go into the infrastructure in the last 4 years. We need more applications. And what I mean by that is most chances that you haven't bought your coffee this morning using crypto rails, or you did not vote for mayor election last Tuesday on chain. In order for that to happen, we need applications that we can put in the hands of regular users, regular consumers, that they can utilize to cast their votes and make their purchases on chain.
That's very good point that you make. So does that happen with new policy? Does that happen with just, communicating the advantages of this? How does that happen in terms of getting that kind of clarity that you're referring to?
Well, the first step is we need to get out of the way and let builders build. I'll give you one example. Shane Copland, who's the founder of Polymarket, last year when we hosted our conference, the FBI was in his living room raiding through his apartment.
I remember the day.
How can you innovate in a country that prosecutes you for innovating? And that's because Polymarket predicted the outcome of the election correctly in all 50 states. Yeah. So first step is we need to get out of the way, and we need to let innovators build. And the second step is innovators need to step up and actually build the tools that are usable, that regular consumers can understand and seamlessly operate with.
And the money is there for those builders?
Yes, absolutely, because now we have liquidity. The IPO markets are opening up, And that's thanks to the administration and specifically the SEC chair, who is making IPOs attractive again.
Well, it certainly is a night and day when you compare to what was going on with Gary Gensler, right? Look, the Senate Agriculture Committee releasing a discussion draft on a major bill which would overhaul cryptocurrency regulation. The Senate Banking Committee now negotiating with Democrats to reach a bipartisan deal. The Genius Act, of course, passed in July, as you mentioned, creating first ever federal regulatory system for stablecoins. But the Clarity Act is tied up. I spoke with Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick on this program earlier. Here's what he said about that. Watch.
It was an incredibly important opportunity for America's future. If we don't lead on crypto, other countries will fill that void. It's a huge job creator in Pennsylvania. And this is a really important step, a market structure bill coming out of the Ag Committee. We have a draft document in the Bank Committee, too. This begins the good work of coming together to find good bipartisan legislation to build on the Genius Act that was already passed. This is an important part of America's future. We've always learned that America needs to be at the forefront of innovation, and that's going to create great opportunity.
Your thoughts on the Clarity Act and what needs to be done from a policy perspective?
Yeah, so far, Maria, we've gotten very far with the stablecoin legislation, and that's what propelled the stablecoin issuers to be able to disseminate the U.S. dollar. But what is still remaining is clarity in terms of which assets are clarified or classified as securities, which assets are classified as commodities, how decentralized exchanges can operate seamlessly in this country, how DeFi can converge with TradFi, and so that we have unified front when it comes to consumers. And I think that's still to come. And once it comes, then we're going to have flourishing number of startups and companies that propel in this space.
All right. Well, now that the government is about to reopen again, maybe we start seeing the activity move again. Kate, great to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for having me.
All right. We'll be watching your venture capital work. Kate Laurence.